Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Turning Point Center of Integrative Chinese Medicine with Nicole Thiel. And I'm here today with my colleague Jenny
Hi.
Sission with Joyful Journey Coaching. And we're going to continue our discussion, and also today we're going to introduce a couple of exercises involving self-compassion. And in this case, one of the topics we have chosen is self-compassion to meet the challenge of anxiety and uncertainty
Oh, yeah.
in this extraordinary time of the pandemics.
Oh,
So I
yes.
hope that this will be of use and interesting. We had said in our previous video that we've said a lot about self-compassion, but to make it simple and accessible, self-compassion is simply the willingness and choice to really meet all of who we are and all of our experience without judgment and with loving kindness. And because it is a practice, or if it's easier to understand, it's a training, then the elements, the foundational elements that we can always come home to with self-compassion are mindfulness, which you could translate as focus, awareness, which is using all of our senses as well as our consciousness to look around, to recognize, to investigate and explore our world. But the third is loving kindness. So the focus of mindfulness, the discovery and openness of awareness, and the rather unusual for our culture, loving kindness to ourselves as well
Yes.
as to others.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know when I say, oh, yeah, especially women, we could be so loving, caring, kind to others, but not exactly to ourselves. I got it.
Right. No, we tend to be self-critical,
Yeah.
brutally self-critical.
Yes.
So thank you, because that leads us to the first exercise.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Nicole. Let me cut you a little bit here. I really love, several points you just pointed out. Okay. So self-compassion really it starts from like your awareness. When we talk about our anxiety or the fear of the unknown, the current situation, it's really about the awareness. And then it goes to our mind, not really only at physical level, what we do, what we conquer, or those kind of thing. And then really, start to do practice of our self-loving kindness, exercise, right? I just want to, emphasize, I think it's so important that you beautifully shared with us just now. Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Well, yeah, and I'll just circle back myself and say it's the focus and awareness,
Hmm.
because, and that's the mindfulness to stay in the present, because you brought up what we're going to begin to address, which is anxiety and uncertainty. And if that is where our focus is, and we bring our awareness to that, as so many of us have. I mean, you know, we're just so eager not to be in this experience. And we so much want a resolution, and it isn't there yet. So, in the meantime, how can we be productive and creative and still stay present with our awareness
Yes.
and our focus and our loving kindness, rather than focusing on fear, uncertainty, and anxiety?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. That's yeah, I love it. And you just mentioned which when the results are not there yet, it's just so true. I really love to add something here, Chris. Nobody has been to tomorrow yet. So it's this kind of fear is equal to each single of us, right? So we want to get the results and answers about tomorrow. This is unfair to anybody, especially to ourselves.
it's unfair
Yeah.
to ourselves. It is not
Yes.
kind.
Yeah.
It's like,
So
and it's got, would you say that's a flavor of I'm not sure it's self-criticism, but it's like the lurking question is, why can't I figure this out?
yeah. Yeah. It's not yet. The answer is not yet, but we just pat on our head, hit on our head, trying to get it figured out,
Right. I
So
just
yeah, I
can't
love that.
do it. I just can't do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Do what?
So
Stay
yes,
present. Stay present.
yes, yeah. Focus of your awareness to the fear there tomorrow in the future, or bring yourself back, just like you said.
Bring ourselves back. And where are we bringing ourselves back to? We're bringing ourselves back to our own goodness, our full competence, our
Mhm.
ability to be loving, which we have multiple examples of, but to rest in the notion of our goodness and that we are competent,
Yeah.
and acknowledge what we have been able to respond to in the midst of all this. I am impressed so much of the time. And so, a way to really nourish ourselves and reinforce that is this exercise, which is called rely on the good.
Hmm. Yes, yes. This is so nice. We talk about this today because here we just celebrated our Thanksgiving holiday yesterday. So when you talk about focus on our goodness, really, when we find our goodness, we actually already changed our mood, shift our vibrations, see the goodness. Now I started to feel happy and appreciate for the whole
Yes.
thing. Yeah.
Oh, and thank you, because you have manifest a direct experience. You know, that when we evoked our gratitude, and so did I with my friends, even at a distance, it, the whole vibration, the whole sense of wellness exuded, and
Yes.
that isn't reserved for one day.
Yeah, of course. Yes. Yeah.
It is like we can do this every day. And the neuroscience is now saying that one of the best times to do that is when one first wakes up, because our consciousness, our mind, our entire beings are refreshed, or could be, And we're open. It isn't fixed into our to-do list.
Yes.
We really are just waking up out of sleep.
Yes.
And sleep is restorative. So that when we do this, it's like I've gotten into the habit of doing this. And when I do, I think first of what my intention is. And my intention is to um, give myself love and compassion as well as the world, to be of benefit. And then I think about the warmth of my covers. I think about the beauty of the day because I'm fortunate and I live in a beautiful area and I can see it outside my window. The redwood trees, from my bed, I can see the sun as it rises. I can begin to hear the birds that are.
Yes.
So for me, focusing on a lot of those natural elements brings me joy.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, and connects that open space of mind and body to my intention
Yeah.
to do good. And I recommend this heartily because throughout my day, even if I'm not in the room where I see the natural elements, I can remind myself, when I get into my to-do list, which we all have, then I can call myself home. Oh, wow, this morning, the sunlight.
Yeah.
We can call ourselves back. And, I know in your work that you have a method to bring people back and have them directly experience that inner calm and their peace. And with acupuncture and herbs, the same thing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
repeatedly for hundreds of treatments.
Oh, yeah.
When I do acupuncture, people are astonished at this direct experience of themselves because that experience of acupuncture is balancing our energetics
Yeah.
and is
Yeah.
directly experienced.
Yeah. Bringing yourself back to your true self, to connect to yourself instead
Yeah,
of out there, the issues, the problem, anxiety, fear from the external world.
right.
So yeah,
Or
definitely,
even those
definitely.
bundles of joy sleeping in
Yeah.
the next
Yeah.
rooms, right? You
Yes.
can take time
Yeah.
and space,
Oh, yeah.
give to yourself.
Yeah. This is so important. I really love to add something here, Nicole, because everybody talks about, gratitude. We celebrate Thanksgiving every year, right, on this day. And everybody knows, yeah, this is important or so. But the thing is, I think also is one of your key points today, practice, because things just don't happen overnight. And even though we know it, but in our mind, if we don't deliberately do our practice and focus and be aware of these good, like you said, the good things that could make makes us feel good and happy, could make us feel appreciated, then our mind, in our habitual pattern, we will just slide back to the old way, stay in the heavy space, the mood, we just indulge us to just feel anxious, depressed, and hopeless, or whatever. if we keep going towards that direction, and we will believe that's true. So it's really about our deliberately focus and our practice on the
Yes, which
good.
allows awareness. And the other gift, which you have started to point out, is anxiety and uncertainty and fear affect every system
Yes. Yes.
of the body, but also it affects how we see the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yes.
And we need to recognize the difference so that we choose to see the world from our true nature and openness and goodness,
Yes.
rather than something that's being done to us from the outside.
Oh, yes. Yes. Especially if we are trapped, stuck in those unpleasant places. And
Yeah,
then, then our focus is only there. And then we don't like it. We want to push them away. We want to fight. And then the whole being inside of us, we just got split inside. It's part of us feels this way, part of us feels the other way. Everything is going on, pulling us to different directions. That's why we feel so overwhelmed. And eventually, by the end of the day, we are exhausted, not mentioning all these feelings. So we cannot do things, we will become more anxious. It's just the negative circle.
it
It just goes to that
yes,
direction.
it
Yeah.
rapidly
So
accelerates.
yeah, so
And
when we shift our focus, even though the external world doesn't change, but because of our mind shifting vibrationally, we shift our mind, and then our focus is to those good things and happy feelings. When we feel differently, when we start to feel lighter and happier, a little bit better, actually those problems, issues just pressed on our head, it will become so much lighter and not that pressing anymore. And then you look at your problems, your life, you shift your perspective. It's like some of the
shift your
problems are not
perspective.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
And shift the perception, because I think that you've led to another good element in terms of recognizing, yeah, even
Yeah.
when we are confronted with difficult situations, because in life we are, all of us are, and it
Yes.
isn't like a punishment. It's
Yes.
like pain and pleasure kind of
Yes.
alternate,
Yes.
and there'll be hard times. And if you get curious about it, it's like, why would I think there wouldn't be? But
Yes. 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 So
that
true. Yeah.
acceptance makes it, as you suggest, lighter.
Yes. Yes. Take the
Lighter.
ride. Yes.
I can deal with this.
Yes. Yes.
I am here. I am now. I'm coming from a ground of goodness
Yes.
where I can support and nourish myself. I can
Yes.
support and nourish others, and I can receive nourishment
Yes.
from
But
others.
yeah, we really need to learn how to do some simple exercise practice and repeatedly practice it every day,
Repeatedly,
every day.
yeah,
Yeah, until we get a momentum going. And then you will see the big shift.
a big shift. And the other
Yeah.
thing is that I think that you brought up an essential point. Yes, the momentum, the big shift, just like if we train our muscles or other aspects of
Yes.
our
Yes.
body,
Yes.
it's like it takes a while. But
Yes.
then the big shift is that's where we live from.
Yeah.
You know, that we really, that's how we are. And rather than, I think we need to acknowledge and accept that we've been well trained in fear and anxiety.
Yes.
We've
Yes.
been very much trained in that
Yeah.
throughout our lives. And I do want to say one thing: this does not reduce the fact there are things to be afraid of. But how we look at fear and how we respond,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
like immediately, please wear a mask and please socially distance. That is something to be afraid of and respond to. But beyond that,
Yeah.
you know, we will and we are meeting this time.
Yes. Yes. So true. Yeah. At least we could do some, practice to release these top levels of fear, anxiety. But of course, some of our issues, patterns are really rooted from the trauma or the early event we went through, we experienced. So that part, definitely at certain points, some people really need some professional help to heal or so. But at least we are talking about right now very practical daily exercise we can do to bring ourselves back. I think.
Introduced the exercise of um, of focusing, awareness, and bringing yourself into the good, recognizing with loving kindness to yourself that in this hard time,
Yeah.
acknowledge what you have done and how you are responding, and that it is very hard. And that recognition can be supported with the exercise of recalling your authentic nature and your goodness. And upon awakening, which you can remember and practice throughout the day, when you begin to get overwhelmed or fearful or uncertain, take a moment, not a to-do list, just take a moment and remember, come back,
Yes.
come back. So Jenny and I both have made videos from our perspectives, or our um, for me, from classical Chinese medicine, about part of this, or more detail of how to apply self-compassion to treatment of different levels of concerns. I will provide that link, and Jenny too will
Yeah.
provide a link.
Yeah, I will, put a link there. It's a kind of guided breathing exercise because it's all about, because when we are anxious or so, we just get stuck in our head. And our our body, our emotional being, our mental being, our spiritual being are all busy do their own work but not united, get together back to our body, stay in the now present moment. So this exercise will help, to use very simple, just natural breathing exercise to bring your whole being back to the now moment. And then it's very amazing. I do it all the time with my clients in the group setting or private setting, and they just feel more centered and grounded and started to feel less anxious. So I will put the link there, and you could follow along and do the exercise. Let us know your feedback.
And the importance of that, Jenny, is
Mm-hmm.
from both of our traditions, is the reality that you begin that using some technique as just focusing on your awareness of and nurturing the good, as well as breathing and body scans and movement of your energetics. It's within our capacity. We do this. Our bodies, our beings are quite extraordinary.
Yeah.
And they offer that for us. It's within our own
Yes.
selves that
Yes.
exists.
Yes.
And so that Jenny and I are leaders and teachers to bring you to something that we want you yourself to discover.
Yes. Yes.
And practice.
Yes.
And if you want to go into greater depth about anything, then you can also, we'll put the links to contact us to
sure.
further for more serious issues if the way back home is longer. But it begins with the simplicity of the two exercises that we've shared.
Yes.
And I look forward. We're going to go more in depth with different using case studies to address both more than both, the body, the mind, and the spirit through our unique ancient wisdom traditions.
Yeah.
So please,
next time we will share more about, the stress caused issues or whatever in our body, physical.
Right.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so I think pretty much today it's exceeding our time again. Yeah.
Yes,
But anyway,
we need to say goodbye.
yeah.
And Jenny, thank you for joining.
Oh, thank you. You know, the topic today, it's really great. And I love all these points, and so, grateful. So grateful for having.
This is genuine gratitude.
Yes. Thank you. Also, everybody.
And thank you for all that who are listening.
Yes. Yeah.
So we'll see you soon.
Yeah. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's a bit long, but